Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mesa Public Schools Virtual College Fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event and have some really fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Karis, and I will be serving as your facilitator for the night. And so before we get started, I have just a few housekeeping items. The first one is that you will notice that your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can, however, use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure that you are checking out that schedule on the website so you don't miss anything. And then finally, this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Greater Arizona. Those are all the things I have for y'all. And so without further ado, I would like to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter, which will be Reed College.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Just give me 1 second to share my screen with y'all, and then I'll go ahead and get started. So, all right, perfect. And just set my timer. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Grant Sewell. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm with Reed College in Portland, Oregon. So really delighted to be here and really happy to be able to share some more information with you about Reed. So the slide here hopefully just kind of gives you a little bit of a snapshot about some of the different things to know about the community, which will hopefully just kind of supplement what I'm going to share with you. So Reed is a small liberal arts college. We're a community of about 1,500 students. And so the nice thing to know about that is the majority of the students at Reed are undergraduate students. So students seeking a bachelor's degree. So that is kind of our overarching focus. And with that, we have really small classes. So on average, about 16 students would be in a class with you. And the Reed College classroom experience is a very collaborative, discussion-based, kind of debate-focused area. So students can really feel comfortable lending their voice to the classroom environment, and through that, really get the chance to get to know your faculty members. So at Reed, the student-to-faculty ratio is about 9 students to 1 faculty member. And since it's a very collaborative, peer-focused environment, it almost looks like a senior scholar, junior scholar type of a relationship. So, students really kind of get the benefit of the, really kind of close-knit classroom instruction, but then are really guided by faculty through their academic journey. So, whether that's, picking certain classes that are exciting to you, things tied to your major, or really kind of working with faculty to identify areas you might want to explore in like research or internships. So students are really kind of at the forefront for that. It's all under the backdrop of about 40 different majors and programs. So, variety of different options from arts, humanities, social science to more STEM-focused majors. On the academic side, it's really framed at Reed by kind of 2 pillars. And so the first pillar is a class called Humanities 110. It essentially explores the diversity of the humanistic experience, which really allows students to hear from faculty from a variety of different disciplines. So the class is instructed by faculty from maybe the art department and then also the history department. And so you're getting the chance to kind of explore these kind of broad overarching topics, such as maybe the Harlem Renaissance or Mexico City, but getting to do it through these different lenses, which we really, strive to be able to offer students, kind of in this liberal arts space. About a third of our community does a study abroad. So variety of different countries, different spaces that you could consider. So a lot of different options to, kind of explore, different cultures and kind of really get to maximize your time. That all leads to students getting to do a senior thesis at Reed. So kind of a culminating experience, a culminating project that could contain research. It could also be more performative. We've seen some students who have written their own senior play, so a variety of different ways that could look, but really a chance at the undergraduate level to kind of have that hands-on experience, which we see as exceptionally valuable, as you're kind of carving out not only your time in the academic classroom, but also kind of supplementing that, kind of by experience in industry. And that's really supported at Reed because we're located in the city of Portland, so we're about 5 miles from downtown Portland. And, Portland's a great hub, to get connected into different spaces. So from Nike, Adidas, Columbia Sportswear having global headquarters here, to a lot of different nonprofits as well. So you're really kind of at the forefront to have this hands-on experience as a student. And that's really supported by our faculty as well. So we see the value in kind of that holistic, kind of rounded student. On the social community side, our approach to community is really through creating inclusive spaces. And what I mean by that is at Reed, we don't have any exclusive clubs or groups. So no fraternities, no sororities, no varsity level sports. Essentially, we try to create spaces where anyone can participate, regardless of your background or things you've done to this point. So, whether that's joining the most popular club at Reed, which is Cheese Club, you could join that. It's exactly as it sounds. A group of students that gets together, really enjoys cheese, to other groups such as our campus radio station broadcasting group. There's an axe throwing club. There's a group called the Air Force that does high wire activities as well. So you can learn to walk on a tightrope. And that's really kind of what we strive to foster, is just spaces anyone can participate, regardless of what you've done to this point. Reed is primarily also a residential community, so we have capacity for all students to live on campus, and about 75% of our student body does. One of the reasons that I think contributes to that is we only have about 10% of our student body come from Oregon, our home state. So just to say, we see a lot of students from Arizona, a lot of other states, multiple countries abroad. And so it really creates the space where people are getting to, build extensions to their community, really getting to kind of know other people through this kind of shared residential space. On the application and financial aid side, so the application, Reed's approach is really through a holistic lens, essentially getting to know you through all the materials you submit, your transcripts, letters of recommendation, your essays. We do optional but recommended interviews. Reed is also test blind. So we were test blind last year, test blind this year, test blind for the next 2 years. We feel there are other materials we can kind of look to get to know your contributions and what you've done at this point. On the financial aid side, Reed's approach to financial aid is through meeting demonstrated financial need. So essentially, we ask for 2 documents. One would be a FAFSA, and the other would be a CSS profile. And essentially what those are able to do is to kind of tell us what your demonstrated need would be. So we don't want cost to be a deterrent from you considering Reed. We have a free application, and then we work to meet that need. Typically, it's about 80% grants. Another 10% tends to be in work study, followed by a further 10% in loans. And typically what we see is students graduate from Reed with lower than the national average debt, which we hope will put you in a strong position if you're thinking about grad school, doctoral school, job, next steps, or anything in between. If any of this sounds like something you'd be interested in, I'll share my information in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to me or, ask me any questions you have in the Q&A. But it was really nice chatting with y'all, and thank you so much for your time.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we will turn it over to our next institution, which is Willamette University.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for having me. I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay. So my name is Heather Frederick. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm your admission counselor at Willamette University. I know we only have a short time together, but I wanted to show you some photos because I think that's the most effective way to do this. And I want to tell you a little bit about Willamette's story and just introduce you to a few of the things that make us unique. And hopefully you'll want to spend a little more time with us, either in an in-depth virtual visit or coming to our campus. We are located in Salem, Oregon, the state capital, in the heart of the beautiful Willamette Valley. We are a liberal arts college supported by graduate programs in business, law, and theology. We're located in a part of the country that is sought after for its natural beauty, diverse ecosystems, outdoor opportunities, and many places to explore. Willamette is the most historic university in the Western United States, founded before Oregon was even a state. And we began to educate and shape innovative leaders right from the beginning, starting with our first graduate, Miss Emily York. As things like business, government, education, medicine, and social systems were being established in the American West, it was Willamette University alumni who were equipped with an education that allowed them to quickly make an impact as these industries literally grew up around us. I mention our history because it's important to understand Willamette's rich heritage in order to understand who we are as an institution today. Willamette's legacy of leadership and impact in the community is exactly what current Willamette students find here today. We are a place that takes knowledge and turns it into action. Our predecessors gave us a motto that informs the current Willamette experience in a very real way. The motto that was established at our founding is, "Not unto ourselves alone are we born." Our motto sums up what those early alumni knew from their time at Willamette. We are in this world together, and our education should be a time when we practice and explore how we will have an impact on others. We talk about the motto a lot and continually challenge ourselves to live it in new and varied ways. Willamette does an exceptional job of providing students with occasions both inside and outside of the classroom to practice this idea of the motto, of making positive change through leadership, service, and innovation. In the classroom, Willamette students meet in small groups where highly engaged faculty lead primarily discussion-based courses. These small groups are interactive and designed to help students develop important skills that will see them through their lives and careers. Skills like critical thinking, creative problem solving, and the ability to consider varied perspectives. Our faculty are accomplished academics. They research, write, and publish extensively, but first and foremost, they're teachers. Willamette faculty serve as mentors who help our students really learn to learn so that they can grow and change as the world around them is constantly changing. It's no wonder Willamette has had more Oregon Professors of the Year than any other college in the state by quite a margin. We feel strongly that this incredible classroom environment at Willamette is critically supported by experiential and co-curricular activities. Things like studying abroad, hands-on research, and internships are the interactive out-of-class experiences that Willamette students participate in, no matter what discipline they study. Our unique location contributes significantly to our ability to provide these opportunities. So let me tell you a little bit about our place in the world. We are an urban campus set in the center of Salem's quaint downtown corridor, and we are the only campus in the nation that sits directly across the street, 76 feet to be exact, from the state capitol building. You can imagine the internship and research opportunities that are available to our students in everything from politics to economics to psychology and data science, simply because of our proximity to and longstanding relationship with our state government. Also unique to our location is our positioning near Salem Health, one of Oregon's largest hospitals, which is directly adjacent to our campus. Our thriving pre-medicine program is well supported by our proximity to this medical resource. We also own a 305-acre outdoor learning laboratory called Xena, where students can literally dig in the dirt. They restore habitats, participate in forestry study, and they even grow their own vegetables. Finally, Willamette is located with Tokyo International University of America. The American Studies program typically brings 100 students from Japan to live and learn with us in Salem each year. And this program is a great reminder to Willamette's strong commitment to all things international. We have amazing opportunities for students as they participate in 66 study abroad programs. As you can see, Willamette is physically located in such a way that we are literally surrounded by opportunities for our students to extend learning beyond our campus. There's so much more to say, but before my time is up, I just wanted to mention that Willamette uses the Common Application. We review all applications holistically, and we have been fully test optional for several years. We never charge a fee to apply because we don't want there to be a barrier for any student seeking access to Willamette. And every applicant, including this cute one, is considered for our generous financial aid awards. Willamette encourages applications from bright, diverse, prepared students who want to make an impact and interact with challenging ideas. If you want to be a part of the deep traditions and history that have made Willamette the shaper of innovative leaders, I hope you'll take the time to learn more about us. I have the following QR codes that you can scan, or don't hesitate to reach out to our office directly to learn more. I'll put my information in the chat. Go Bearcats.
Thank you so much. I will turn it over to our next institution for tonight, which looks like it will be Southern Oregon University.
Thank you, Karis. Hi, everybody. My name is Ian Parent, and I'm the Associate Director of Admission at Southern Oregon University. So Southern Oregon University is located in beautiful Ashland, Oregon. you're not familiar with where Ashland, Oregon is, we are down on the southern border of the state of Oregon, just about 10 minutes from California. We're located in what's called the Rogue Valley, and the Rogue Valley is the 4th largest metro area within the state of Oregon. Medford is the center of the Rogue Valley as far as the largest city. All told, we have about 215,000 residents in the Rogue Valley. Pretty easy to get to. We're located right on the 5 freeway, which stretches up the western side of the West Coast. And there are direct flights from Phoenix Airport into Medford, which is, again, is just about 20 minutes from campus. You can fly on Delta, United, Alaska, American, and Allegiant. So pretty easy to get to where we're located. So as far as the climate is concerned, because we're so far south, we don't have your typical Northwest weather. We actually get about half the amount of rain as Portland and the cities in the Willamette Valley, so much drier than many other areas in the state and in the Northwest. We actually have less rain than the national average. We do get about 4 inches of snow per year on the valley floor. That's usually about 1 snowstorm that drops that snow and it's gone within a day or two. However, we're only about 25 or 30 minutes away from a ski resort. So if you want to go skiing or snowboarding or play in the snow, it is really close by and easily accessible. We do have all 4 seasons, pretty mild climate. Our summer highs are usually in the low 80s, although we will get up to 100 a couple times. And in the winter, we're usually in the low 50s or high 40s most days. So this is a little video I took riding my bike through campus, so you can get an idea what campus looks like. That's why it's also a little bit shaky. But we are a public 4-year university with about 5,500 total enrollment. Average class size is 21, and faculty teach every class. There's no grad students or TAs teaching classes. So the classroom experience is a little more typical of a private liberal arts institution. But again, we are still a public 4-year university. Our average GPA of our admitted students is a 3.3. However, our minimum is a 2.5. We do have 40 different areas of study. I'll show you those majors next. We do have 4 residence halls as well. We expect first-year students to live on campus. 13 different men's and women's varsity sports that compete in the NAIA, which is roughly equivalent to the NCAA Division II. And we do have athletic scholarships. And there are over 100 other clubs and organizations on campus. So as far as our majors are concerned, the most popular majors are the same as most institutions, things like business, psychology, and communications. We do have really well-known programs in the arts, specifically theater, music, digital cinema, and emerging media and digital arts. Outdoor adventure leadership is another popular major, nursing. And if you look at the little red or blue dots behind the majors, you can actually earn your degree in those areas in 3 years instead of 4. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, that saves you 25% off the total cost of your bachelor's degree. Also allows you to maybe get a job and start earning money sooner, or get into grad school a year ahead of your peers and complete that whole process a little bit faster. I did mention our residence halls. The 2 in the upper left-hand corner are Shasta and McLaughlin. That's where you're going to find first-year students living. Those were just completed a few years ago, so they're really nice and fancy. Large rooms, there's a partial divider wall between each sleeping space, high-speed internet, cable television, wireless internet, and laundry is all included. A couple years ago, we also just built a brand new recreation center, which is right next to these residence halls. So great workout facilities, indoor multi-purpose gym, and an elevated track. There's a climbing wall back there as well. And then also right next to these complexes is our brand new dining hall also. We also have a dining hall in our student union, as well as 2 sandwich shops and 2 coffee shops on campus as well. So we are a Western Undergraduate Exchange or WUI school. And for students from Arizona, that WUI tuition rate is automatic when you're admitted. Nothing you have to do other than have an Arizona address on your application, and we automatically knock about $13,000 off the out-of-state cost of tuition. So you will pay that WUI tuition rate. We also have automatic merit scholarships. So if you have above a 3.0 unweighted high school GPA, you're going to get a merit scholarship. If you have above a 3.5, you can apply to our honors college and possibly get a $2,000 bump to that merit scholarship. And then we also have departmental, foundation, diversity scholarships, and athletic scholarships as well. All right, there's my contact information. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat as well, or you can scan that QR code, but I'm going to put that web address in the chat as well, so don't worry about fumbling with your phones. But thank you very much. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
And as a reminder, if you all do have any questions, I would really encourage you to go ahead and type those into the Q&A, and our panelists will get to them as they can. But without further ado, I will turn it over to our final institution of the night, which will be University of Oregon.
All right, thank you everyone so much for being here this evening. It's great to be with you. My name is Laura Romer and I'm a regional admissions counselor for the University of Oregon, and I'm based in Phoenix. And so if I've had a chance to meet you in person at a college fair or high school visit, or if this is our first time connecting, it's great to be with you and show you a little bit about the U of O. The University of Oregon is in a fantastic location in the center of this coastal and mountainous region in Oregon in the beautiful Willamette Valley. The Eugene area has an airport, and you can fly direct from all three major airports in Arizona to get to the Eugene airport. So transportation is an absolute breeze. And once you're in Eugene, you're in an amazing place with easy access to the beach if you're interested in anything beach or ocean related. And of course, you have the Cascade Mountains, which are just about an hour away for all things snow and mountain. Our student body is often thought to be much larger than it actually is. And I think that's because we have a big athletic reputation and our football and basketball teams are on TV a lot, but we are a medium-sized public research university. We have just over 18,000 undergraduate students and about 22,000 students total. So this is a heavily undergraduate institution, and our students come from all 50 states and about 100 countries on average every year. Our students are really the best part of the University of Oregon. They come from a diverse set of backgrounds. You will see students who look like you, students who don't look like you. You'll hear languages spoken on campus that are new to you, and be exposed and interacting with these people with great differing experiences. Our academic programs run the gamut. Of course, we have very popular majors like business, architecture, psychology, marine biology, and journalism. But there are a lot of unique programs at the University of Oregon that I encourage students to explore. So our majors webpage is a great starting point if you're just now learning about the University of Oregon. You can go to this webpage and read about our academic programs and see what programs are available as a double major or a minor or both. A lot of our students will pick up an additional interest academically and pursue that double major or minor or both at some point in their 4 years. And this is really a nature of our general liberal arts curriculum. And this is embedded in every single academic program. Students take classes in and out of their major every single term. But if you're sitting here tonight and saying you're not sure what you want to study, that's completely fine. About 1/3 of our students are undecided at any given time, and we call it exploring, because you really are exploring your options with a lot of great help from academic and career advisors. A big focus at the University of Oregon is research. We're a Tier 1 research institution, and we owe a lot to the state of Oregon and to give back to the world at large. And so our students engage in research in every single academic unit alongside professors who are themselves also teachers. And about 74% of our students are doing some kind of research at any given time, whether that's independently or on a formal research project in a larger group. If you're interested in research, you may think of science research like you see on the slide here, but again, research happens in every academic unit, and you can learn about those academic units and their research resources on that major's webpage. As other schools have mentioned this evening, study abroad is a great thing to consider, and the University of Oregon strongly encourages students to go abroad. We will pay for students to get their first passport, and because of that, and I think because of our flexibility working with each student individually, about 24% of our students study abroad by the time they graduate. And these programs can happen usually during sophomore or junior year, or you can go on one of our pre-freshman programs. They're 6 weeks, and one of them goes to Singapore, the other one goes to London. So however you're interested in going abroad, that's something that we want to make happen for you. In college, you have lots more free time, and this is one of the best parts of the University of Oregon experience, connecting with students in clubs, organizations, forming those meaningful friendships, and of course, cheering on the Ducks. If you are interested in a place with big school spirit, the University of Oregon is the place for you. You're certainly always going to know when game day is happening because everybody on campus is dressed up, but there's more than just game day every single day on campus. So take that time to step outside your comfort zone and find something that interests you. Our housing experience, I think, is where all of this great school spirit and connectedness starts. The housing experience is very much choose your own adventure with a number of different residence halls and room styles to choose from. We also have academic and social residential communities if you'd like to live with students who have a similar academic or social identity as you. Housing is not required after freshman year, but you are more than welcome to live on campus all 4 years or move off campus. There are virtual tours of all of our housing facilities on our housing website, so I encourage you to check that out. Now I'm going to show you some quick tips about applying to the University of Oregon. There are 3 ways to apply. You can use the Common App, the Coalition application, or the Oregon application. Whichever one you choose, make sure it's the best one for you. Whatever makes your life easier, we're going to collect the same information. When I'm reviewing an application, which I do for all students from Arizona, I'm going to look at the student as the whole person. The GPA and how you reach that GPA, your grade trend, academic courses you've chosen to take, test scores if you choose to submit them, but also the personal side and anything you choose to share in your essay, activities, and involvement. We'd love to know that you are going to contribute to the University of Oregon community. There are some deadlines with freshman admissions, so we strongly encourage students to keep these deadlines in mind. November 1st approaching here is our early action deadline. If you complete your application by November 1st, it simply means we can get back to you faster. Ultimately, you'll have to make your decision by May 1st, so make sure you stay on top of those college applications. Scholarships are automatic consideration based on your weighted GPA, and you'll notice a couple of these scholarships have separate applications. There are more scholarship resources on our website, but these are kind of the big ones. So again, we will keep you informed of those throughout the application process once you apply. The Oregon Guarantee is a tuition guarantee that locks your tuition and fees for up to 5 years. And this is our commitment to you and your family to make sure that paying for college is something that feels right for you as you embark on this next step in your life. I encourage you to stay in touch with me, and I'll include my contact information in the chat. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you do have any questions. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Well, that rounds out all of the presentations from our institutions. And so, like I said, if you all have any questions, I would encourage you to go ahead and put those in the Q&A with the last remaining minutes that we have. But at this time, I would invite all of our panelists to go ahead and turn their cameras back on, their microphones back on, and we will get right started with our Q&A for the evening. And so the first question that I have for you all is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Thanks for the question. So Grant Sewell at Reed again. And yeah, I would say my piece of advice is, I think as you're probably hopefully seeing from this great group of, schools, professionals who are here, is definitely get in touch with any, schools that you're considering. There's a lot of great resources, and you can find out exactly, what schools are looking for, how they approach the application. They can share more about their community. But, I would say we're all really here to help and serve you the best we can. So my piece of advice would just be, please get in touch with us, because we always love connecting with you.
Yes, I would echo that as well. Once again, Heather from Willamette. My biggest piece of advice is to trust your gut through this process. This is about mutual fit. You're making a choice just as much as we're choosing you. And so really think about your priorities. And beyond that, just go with your intuition, because you're going to do great no matter where you end up. It's just about if you utilize the resources and if you feel supported at home when you're at that institution. So go with your gut.
I would say as you go through your search process, and after you've gone with your gut and identified those best fits for you, write down any sort of deadlines that you see associated with the admission and financial aid process for those institutions. And then give yourself an internal deadline of maybe a week earlier, just to make sure you hit that, because none of us want you to miss out on any scholarships, any tuition discounts, or any other opportunities associated with those deadlines. So go through the search process like everybody's mentioned, and then pay close attention to those deadlines.
Yeah, I think something really important to consider is your academic kind of interests and your overall plan of study. It's completely okay to not know what you want to major in. It's also completely okay to not know what job or field you want to enter after you graduate. So when you're looking at colleges and universities, make sure that you're seeing a variety of options that apply to you and that appeal to you, things that are going to give you skills that you might like to carry with you throughout your life. So really make sure that you keep an eye out for that, because every school is going to offer different academic programs, and some schools are going to offer the same. And so that's where you should make sure you do the research and make sure that major at that school is the best fit for you.
Thanks for those responses. Those were all great. So my next question is, what is one thing that you want students to remember about your school?
Yeah, so Grant School at Reed. And yeah, I would say, one thing that I probably want students to remember is, students are really in a strong position at Reed to really, maximize their experience, not only in like the small collaborative kind of discussion-based classroom, but you're really kind of in this position to have like a really great, like holistic experience overall. So I would say, since we are a small, tight-knit community, with the backdrop of Portland, you really kind of get the benefit of getting to know your faculty through the classroom, but they're really there, not only in that classroom space, but to really be able to support your goals. So if you're somebody who's like really interested in research or having an internship or, volunteering in the community, we're really kind of in that position to, expose you to as many different things as we possibly can be. So Reed really tries to create spaces where everyone's like encouraged to try and just kind of maximize their time while they're here. So I hope that would come through in what I was able to share.
Yeah, I want to make clear that Willamette really prioritizes making students feel comfortable and feeling at home while they're with us. If you're missing mom's brownie recipe, you can submit that to our dining hall and they'll recreate it for you within 2 weeks. We really prioritize that because we know that you do your best work, that you're your best version of yourself when you feel supported, when you feel loved and cared for. For a campus community of about 1,600 undergraduate students, we complete over 70,000 hours of community service every year. And so our motto, "Not unto ourselves alone are we born," is really central to our campus culture. And that feeling of support, that community of care, is so important when you're weighing your options, because you can get a great academic experience no matter where you choose, especially with these institutions tonight. But it's about where you're going to feel the best and where you're going to be the best version of yourself. And so Willamette really wants to take care of its students during your short time with us.
I'd just like people to remember that Southern Oregon University is a great place if you're interested in the outdoors. We are right in the middle of 3 different mountain ranges. Like I said earlier, we're 20 minutes from a ski resort, but you don't have to worry about snow on the ground every day. We have hot weather, we have cool weather, rivers and lakes, just minutes from campus. The Pacific Crest Trail, so if you're into hiking and mountain biking, we were named the #1 town in the country for trail running recently. So if you're looking for a mild 4-year climate with great outdoor access and outdoor opportunities, I think Southern Oregon would be a good fit.
Yeah, I think one thing to remember about the University of Oregon is, as I mentioned earlier, we are a medium-sized school. And so you have the benefit of large school resources and funding and programming, especially when it comes to research and availability of majors. But it is definitely a campus that has a lot of things to explore. And so I didn't mention this in the presentation, but I think I would echo everybody here tonight and say that we all have great virtual resources you can explore. So try to explore campus if you can visit. If you can't, use virtual resources and get to know each campus. The University of Oregon campus is not as big as people think, and there's a lot of great places to find your smaller community. So a lot of great things to explore at the UO.
Thanks, y'all. And then just a quick reminder for our panelists, we do have a couple questions coming into the Q&A. So I would love if you all could answer some of those as you are answering the questions for our panel. But the final question I have for y'all tonight is, what is one myth that you would like to debunk on the college admissions process?
Yeah, it's a good question. So my one myth that I would probably try and debunk, for students is that you must have a letter of recommendation from a teacher that gave you an A. Obviously, while, if you did get an A and you have a recommendation from a teacher, that I'm sure is a great recommendation. They have a lot of great things to share about you. But, oftentimes I'm sometimes even more intrigued by seeing a letter of recommendation from a professor that maybe gave you a B or a C, and kind of like maybe they're going to share something about how you put in a lot of this hard work and your grade isn't indicative of your learning capabilities, your conversations in the classroom. So I sometimes just encourage students not to necessarily think about the professor that gave you a certain grade and the recommendation they might share, but more about like the quality, the substantive issues, or the things that might come through in the recommendation, regardless of the grade earned.
Yeah, I remember when I was a student, I felt very intimidated to get in contact with admission offices. I thought that they would be evaluating me when I did, and I was really hesitant to even contact my admission counselors at the various schools I applied to. And so, echoing what Grant said earlier, we're here to support you. We choose this profession because we love helping students find their next step. So do get in contact with us. You know, me specifically, it doesn't even have to be Willamette related. I'm happy to chat about your college process in general. And so do utilize that resource, because we represent our institutions for a purpose, and that purpose is to help you figure out your best fit. And so admission offices are not scary. We're not opaque institutions that you should avoid. Please engage with us. That's what we're here for.
So one myth I'd like to debunk real quickly is just that the most prestigious university on your list might not be the best fit for you. So definitely look at things we've already covered earlier: location, size, cost, and all of those different areas, because you being happy and in a place that you like for 4 years might be more important and more beneficial to you than you struggling and worrying about the most prestigious college. And if I can, I would just like to answer the native or the LGBTQ question real quick. We have a social justice and equity center on campus, which is it's a combination of multicultural resource center, queer resource center, women's resource center, and veterans resource center. And over the last 7 or 8 years, we've been named a top 20 LGBT friendly school by Campus Pride, and one of the most friendly in the country as well. So thank you.
Yeah, I think one myth is that when people start researching colleges and universities, a lot of folks get turned off when they see the cost of attendance on a college or university website. And the reality is that that is the sticker price. That's what people pay if they receive no scholarships or other forms of financial aid. And so I really encourage all students, if you're a US citizen or eligible non-citizen, to submit the FAFSA regardless of family income. And as mentioned, some schools use the CSS profile. So if you're going to go to a college or university, you want to maximize the financial resources that are available to you. That means filling out those forms online, taking that time to submit them, and of course, taking time to apply for scholarships separately, so that when you get your financial aid offer, you're going to have the full picture of what's available to you.
Perfect. Well, like I said, that kind of wraps up my questions. Thank you all so much for joining us. Y'all asked some really great questions. And if your question didn't get answered, I would encourage you to go back to this presentation and get that contact information and contact and reach out to the schools that you still have questions for. When you close this window, there will be a link to a quick 5-question survey. So we would appreciate any feedback you can provide us on how this experience was for you tonight. And then, like I said about that recording, you'll be able to view not only this recording, but also the recordings for all the other sessions at strivescan.com/GreaterArizona. Thanks so much for being here tonight. We really appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your sessions.